Yeah, boy, it's August 9th, and it's episode 142, and this is a Fantasy Football Auctioneer. I'm your host, Uncle Buckets. The Fantasy Football Auctioneer is the official podcast of thefantasyfootballauction.com, the internet's only all-auction website. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Fantasy Auction, or follow us on Facebook. We are facebook.com/fantasyfootballauctioneer. Tonight, live mock auction. We have Blister. He is broadcasting tonight live from his pickup truck outside of a camper. Blister, how's it going tonight?
Good, man. I'm in Baudette, Minnesota. Beautiful here, actually. There's a whole other world we probably none of us guys know about once you leave the highway and go north. It's pretty cool. A lot of campgrounds, a lot of fishing, a lot of good stuff. Gonna hit the golf course in the morning and hockey school again in the afternoon.
All right. And he's rocking his Wu-Tang shirt tonight for the live mock. Slim, how's it going tonight?
I'm representing. That's how it's going.
A little angry from the Blue Jays.
It might be salty. It was just a real trying day, and then I tried to watch that baseball game before this, and it just was gross. And I was upset at that and frustrated. So hopefully this will be fun.
All right, so we've got a lot.
I've had a few beers. I'm going to have a few more doing this, and hopefully it's all
good. I'm drinking tonight from the Sleeping Giant Brewery in Thunder Bay, the Tipping Pines or something IPA. It's a nice little beverage in my blister. You can't see it, but this is a birthday gift from my former boss. Fantasy football, don't drink and draft, it said, and it's a football mug, which I think is clever.
Hey, we didn't miss your birthday, did we?
No, it wasn't a birthday. Sorry, it was actually a Christmas gift from the whatever. Anyways, nice. Okay, so we got about a minute or so to go. Each of us have 3 different strategies going into the mock draft here. I'm the first one on the board, so I want to make sure that I can get my stuff out there. I'm going to go tight end. I'm going after Gronk here first, so we can take a look at what my roster would look like and some of the trials and tribulations of drafting Gronk in your auctions. Slim, what do you got?
Are we going to go over this so everyone knows what we're doing?
I thought we were. No, I know those guys are watching us. Hopefully they. Well, I think it's good when we talk it through.
That's what happens every time we do this. Everybody listens, and then they just hit us on everyone.
There's a handful of guys that are live listeners that are also drafting with us tonight, so we're not drafting against bots, and I'm sure they're listening. That's all right. What are they going to do? Go to Gronk for 70? I'll let them do it if they're going to price him for us.
All right.
There you go. Slim, what are you drafting?
I'm going RB0. I'll just put it that way. So.
All right. Good. And Blister, what are you doing?
Short and sweet.
Well, I don't know. I think I will. I'll probably go light on RB, but try to get the best player possible at every other position. Like I try to have. If I'm going to go light at RB, I'm going to have very few holes everywhere else. That's the plan.
Balanced, then, is what you're saying, in a nutshell.
Sure.
All right. So I'm forgetting how we. All right. So I'm going to get some money out there right away. We're going to put I'm choosing to put into my queue here, put Antonio Brown in. We're live. He just jumped up to $58, and boom, away we go.
I didn't know we started.
Well, I usually gives you about a minute there of leeway, doesn't it? I thought, but maybe not. So we are live in the mock auction. We're going to try to talk our way through what's going on here with Antonio Brown sitting at $60. We're on Yahoo right now. It's a new look on the draft, hey guys?
Oh no, I thought it's the same as last year.
Slightly different.
Well, maybe. So we got Antonio Brown right now at $66. Trying to watch and see what it's a little bit different there.
Yeah, is it? Bryce,
and it is sold. Slim picked up Antonio Brown for $66.
Beautiful. Falls right into my RB0.
All right, so RB0 and looking for some elite wide receivers.
Hot, right? Come onto the gates hot.
That's right.
So just to clarify, we're drafting as if this is a full point PPR league, right?
Yes.
So
full point PPR for sure.
Where is that Chris Bish?
I don't know. He got him up to 59. Pork Chop's got it. So right now we have Julio Jones on as the second nomination. It's at $62. And he is sold. So sold for 62. So what do you guys think? 66 and 62 for those top two receivers.
Yeah, that's the going rate for those guys right now, and Odell probably go in between, maybe even 65. Some people like Odell a little better than Julio, and some people prefer Julio, so it's usually back and forth with those two.
All right, so Gronk's on the board. I said I'm going after Gronk, so let's see who is actually listening to us live and see how that goes. Any suggestions on how high to go for the big fella?
45.
As you have to.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go to 70, let's say, but because I think that a smart drafter wouldn't get to that point, right?
Are you talking personal preference or just kind of average value?
An average value. What is his AAV? I feel like I'm freezing up every time I. What is it?
Mid-50s, which is crazy to me. But
yeah. I feel like every time I jump out of the window to go look at my spreadsheet, the
draft freezes on me when I do that.
Yeah.
I can't look at anything else. Yeah.
All right, so we got Gronk right now at 43.
Keep going.
And, of course, Jay's going to bump me up. I'll go to 45. Try to keep this realistic, boys. Yeah, and just got the bump there, too. Remember, it's a mock. We're trying to experiment. Just kidding. So going tight end heavy here is going to make things really tricky, I think, as we go through.
Hey,
and there we go. $47 for Gronk. I just picked him up because I'm going tight. Well, I was going for Gronk. So now I got to try to figure out what the budget would look like. I mean, if I was going into a draft, I would obviously have this planned out. I was going to, spend up to 50 or whatever, let's say, for Gronk, and then what my team would look like from there. Next on the board, Eddie Lacy. Thoughts on Eddie Lacy heading into 2016, guys, as he goes up to $20?
I think he's pretty. No one's given him much benefit of the doubt, but I'd like to see how he performs with that offense as well. And I really think it all depends on Jordy Nelson, believe it or not. If Jordy is healthy and can play, that's going to open up bigger holes for Eddie Lacy. But the passing game was bad without Jordy last year, and Eddie was no hell either. So hopefully they're all healthy, and then we could see a good offense out of Green Bay again.
Okay. I was just watching the Smack Talk feed there. I didn't realize that the guy who's missing is also our fan in the Scott Fishbowl entry.
Oh.
Is there any way that we can... Isn't it?
Oh, maybe.
No, that's Chad. No, it's Chad, not Chris. I apologize. Right? It was Chad that...
Myers called him, though.
Well, Myers called him. It's all these guys from the defending Scott Fishbowl champion. They're all over us.
Making them look bad.
All right, so Eddie Lacy right now at $31, going once, going twice, and sold for 31. Jay's great team at 31. Slim, what do you think of $31 for Eddie Lacy right now?
I think while it's a little bit cheaper than what he normally goes for, and I'll be honest, I think all the guys that have gone so far have gone slightly under their AAVs. I guess Julio went for a little bit over his, but this trend continues, then I guess we'd expect to see, maybe not quite as many values as we normally do see later on in drafts. So this is something that I like to pay attention to the first few rounds of the draft, probably about the first 4. Just try and monitor the prices and what the over-under is on kind of your expected prices, and you can see if people are overspending or underspending to know if there's going to be excess funds later on in the draft.
Right. Well, right now we got OBJ on the board. He's on at $59 currently. And he went for 59.
Yeah.
So that fits right into where we've seen so far. Quick little recap for listeners who can't see what's going on. Odell Beckham just went for 59. Eddie Lacy 31. Gronk for 47. Julio 62. And Antonio Brown went to Slim at $66. Des Bryant on the board now. I'm trying to work him right now in the Auction Kings blister.
Oh, yeah. How's that going for you? I start that Monday, I guess.
Oh, it's so slow, though.
I hate that.
It's really slow to do that when you have 11 or 12 hours for someone to make a bid, and then it resets. It's a long process.
Yeah, I hate that when they bid in the last. It's been up there for 12 hours or whatever, and they bid in the last minute. Like, come on, really?
Yeah.
For 50 more
it's going
cents.
okay. I think there's only been 2 or 3 guys that have actually been sold, and it started Monday morning.
Oh yeah.
So it's been a little slow. So right now we got Des Bryant coming off the board at $47.
I tried to bid and I missed it. That's junk.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cheap for Des, I think. At least for me, I have him as my wide receiver 5 this year. As long as Romo, to me, stays healthy, he's going to be a beast, but could be a big if.
I did like the training camp catch that was on Twitter there.
Which one?
He's reaching over that DB's head.
From your boy Jordan Taylor. Did you see that one?
All right, Jamal Charles. What's that?
Did you see that one from your boy, is it Taylor from Denver? He's a plug, but he made one of the sickest. Odell Beckham.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was impressive,
though, right? Like, it wasn't for the touchdown and.
No, it was still phenomenal.
It was awesome. Yeah. Oh, so Jamal Charles on the board, $36 right now. Blister, you like Jamal Charles more than Eddie Lacy?
No, I don't
here.
actually. I kind of think Eddie will be okay this year. I think Jamal Charles is. He's great if he's healthy, but I just think they're gonna maybe try to conserve him a bit this year. Spencer Ware and Shakandrick West did a pretty decent job when they filled in last year, so why beat up Jamal during the regular season? Try to give him a few series off and let those guys run the ball a bit. So I don't think he's going to be as good as Lacy.
All right, so Jamal Charles goes off the board at $37. So we're starting to see that tier's price point shake out. Hey, Slim?
Yeah, I mean, it's cheap. Like Jamal Charles usually goes for mid-40s. So I have a feeling that there's going to be quite a few people in this draft that are going a little bit RB0 based on the prices that we're seeing some of these running backs go for. So if you're in your real draft, so maybe you want to switch gears, flip the page, and go to budget number 2 and try and snag one of these guys and maybe not the Todd Gurley's or something like that, but maybe you really like Mark Ingram or Doug Martin or something, and even David Johnson just went for $53. That's cheaper than he normally goes for. So there you go. This will be a good test of what true drafts are like. And now we see Arian Foster nominated. Okay.
I just took him in an NFL. I took him and Josh Gordon both. Swing for the fences to win the $100.
I did that in the fishbowl. Foster and Gordon.
Yeah, if it works, I mean, I don't know. I listened to a pod today when I was out doing some yard work, and the rant against Josh Gordon was thick and deep, and he was angry against him. Yeah, it was. He was angry about all the hype.
Jesus.
So Arian Foster for $12. He must be. Is he on? Is he on? No, he's not. Auto draft. Russell Wilson now.
I tried to get Foster, and he wouldn't bid on me. This stupid thing keeps freezing on me.
Well, Blister is in the woods in his pickup truck. There's nothing screams fantasy football more than what Blister is currently doing.
I could end up having a totally different strategy because I'll be the only guy left with $200, and all you guys will be gone to bed. I can't even bid right now. What a piece of junk.
what's our budget? Yeah, the budget's $200, Mr. Cherney.
Is Dave in this?
The Road Warrior just tweeted us asking. $200 budget, of course, we consider that the standard budget. I did hear again on that same pod, a different pod today, where they have a $235 budget, which I think is
interesting.
An odd selection. So there you go, Russell Wilson off the board right now at $18. That's an auto pick by the computer because Chris is not here, jammed out on us. He was talking to Derek today on the phone. He was excited about coming on, and then he doesn't show up. So we have one bot in the room, 11 live guys.
Might get a second one if I can't get on.
Even the coach, Pow Pow, is on. I think he's got a buddy on there too. We've got the defending Scott Fishbowl champ in the mix. We got old Pork Chop Express also. We've got Pottsville. We've got Mr. Mean. Who is this now? Mr. Mean.
Mean Mr. something.
Can't see it on the screen. Mean Mr. Mustard. I think he murdered somebody with a candlestick in the conservatory. Well, it's Colonel Mustard. I apologize for the Clue reference there. Chris is a plug man. Oh, that's you, Slim. I thought that was Derek posting that. I thought that'd be good. All right, so we got Aaron Rodgers on the board. He's at $21 right now. 21. Everyone's auto bidding. Oh, I thought everyone was just auto bidding the bot to make sure he got out for.
Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers this year. Somebody loves him. Like he's the number one quarterback. I see him as the number one quarterback. Taken in the majority of drafts that I'm in auction or in mocks. Like, I don't get it. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's going to put up more fantasy points than Cam Newton or Russell Wilson.
Your nomination there, Slim.
Oh, wow. Already?
Did Chris's bot get Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. And Arian Foster. That's his team right now.
Yeah.
All right, Todd Gurley is currently on the board, who I had in my queue to put out there, so I will change that up for who wants him to become a Pursuit Flex. Okay, so Todd Gurley's on the board right now. We're at $43. I'm guessing he's going to be David Johnson dollars, right? I'll give a shot in there. I'll give another shot in there. So he should be at David Johnson dollars, right, guys? I mean, that's what we should be seeing here.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he will be. Sorry about that, Bex.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry. I
did one more.
Throw more chirps in the chat right now.
Gurley called out Matt Harmon?
We could get Matt Harmon on. Eric said he'd come on the pod, too. So did Vince. A lot of these guys probably would.
We got Ross Tucker next week, guys.
Oh, that's good, too.
We landed him today. Big fish. So he's going to come on and talk a little fantasy football news with us at the beginning of the podcast next week. Cool. And then in a couple weeks, I'm going to try to jump on theirs with him and Evan Silva, so that should be entertaining too. We're still finalizing the timeline for that. So right now, Todd Gurley's at $57. And that is the computer.
Winner, chicken dinner. Chris is going to have a hell of a team.
He's going to have one. Well, let's take a look at his team right now just for kicks. He's got Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Arian Foster, and Todd Gurley.
I'm trying to chat in the smack talk, and I can't even type. I can't even get a keyboard to pop up. God damn it.
All right, Ezekiel Elliott is who I just put out there, again, trying to flush some dollars out, especially seeing as I got Gronk off the hop here. So just trying to flush out some dollars. And in the ballpark here also sometimes, and I don't know, Slim, you probably do this too, in the dollar values that you know he's not officially going to go to, but it's still fairly high, just give a bid here and there just to pretend like you're interested when you put them out.
Oh, yeah. I love doing like little things like that just to try and keep messing with people. Because, I mean, it's oftentimes, everybody thinks that, especially early in a draft, who you nominate you don't want. So sometimes I'll throw a guy that I do actually like, just to try and keep people guessing and all that stuff.
So Blister just snagged Zeke for $57. Blister, thought process is there?
I logged out of the draft actually, and logged back in because I couldn't do anything on the draft, and I didn't not even know I got him. So that's exciting. It's probably the only way I'm gonna get a guy. Probably the only way I'll get guys is if I actually log out. I can't touch anything right now. Screw it. So there goes that theory of a balanced budget when you grab a budget.
Oh no, you'll be fine.
57.
I think you could be okay. There's still a lot of work you can do there.
Oh yeah, it's early. Lots of manipulation left.
I did get Zeke the other day in a super flex snake on Scout, and I was either the 10th or the 11th pick. I think I was the 10th, and he was there, so I took him in the first round, and I came back with Dez, and I don't know how excited I was, but I thought they were the two best players on the board at the time. And so later on, I drafted Romo as one of my quarterbacks, so I sure hope the Cowboys do well and everybody stays healthy.
Well, I think if he stays healthy, you're going to be happy you get Romo because you get him late. And
yeah,
I mean, if he's healthy and they have a running game, I think numbers will be just fine there. All right, so we have DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke is on the board. $54 is the bid right now. Slim gets him for $54.
No, I didn't get him.
You didn't?
Not me.
The other Bryce.
Oh, the other Bryce. Oh, the other Bryce. That's right. The battling Bryces.
Got a plan.
All right, Lev Bell is now on the board. So
Lev Bell.
If we take a look at round one of the draft, I mean, we had some auto picks, obviously, from the bot, but Todd Gurley, 57, Aaron Rodgers at 23, Russell Wilson, 18, Arian Foster, 12. And then the live drafters, David Johnson, 53, Jamal Charles, 37, Des Bryant, 47, OBJ was 59, Eddie Lacy, 31, Rob Gronkowski at 47, Julio Jones, 62, and Slim got Antonio Brown for 66. Lev Bell's on the board. Over $30 right now.
I'm going to refresh my screen so that I'll probably get him on my computer because I was messing up. But you know what? Do we have? None of us were doing RB heavy, were we? So I could be after this bid.
No. You're okay. I think it's over the bid of. It won't bid for you at this point.
Dang.
It's up to $40-something bucks.
$43 right now for Lev Bell.
Well, if you believe the report, Pittsburgh was telling Sal Paolantonio of ESPN that the actual Steelers were saying they don't believe that Lev will miss any games.
No kidding.
So whatever they...
Can you imagine that, though? You're drafting him like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are drafting at that price almost. I mean, not fully, I guess, but are going to operate under that assumption. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't kill you if you spend $55 to get him, because, like, for example, I bought him last year when he was suspended for the first couple of games. I spent, I think, $50 or $4.89, which is a decent chunk of change. But I mean, if you plug in a guy, if you add up the weeks, say that he produces with the weeks of, say, some bench running back just scabbing together, you're probably still going to end up with near RB1 numbers on a weekly basis. So it's not really that expensive when you think of it that way.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard someone talk about that with Tom Brady as an argument. So, why you still take him fairly high in your drafts? Well, if you take into account all the points he scores, plus the points that are scored by your QB2 in those first 4 weeks, you're probably talking about a mid QB1 still.
Right.
So, the same kind of logic can somewhat be applied to Le'Veon Bell, even though now, yes, he's one kind of fuck up away from missing the rest of the year, or he plays a volatile position and he can, get hurt and miss time. But those are all the knocks against taking an RB high anyway. So if you're cool with all that, then it shouldn't really scare you off too much. AP 46. Dang.
Sorry, guys. Could you just hear that when you just had your voice going over you there, son?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, because I was just trying to figure out the YouTube channel. So we got AJ Green now on the board. He's at $41. I mean, you hear huge, like, people are expecting him. Well, some pundits are talking about him. He could be wide receiver 1 this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. No, I think he'll do great. I can't see him getting that high up. I mean, Andy Dalton's a quarterback still. That worries me a little bit. And there's not. I mean, they don't have Eifert now, and their tight end situation's a mess. So I think Gio could be their best fantasy point producer. I mean, I love AJ Green, don't get me wrong, but I think Gio is going to be a steal for what you pay for him in comparison.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. So he just came off the board. AJ Green came off the board at $52 to the mean Mr. Mustard. Alshon Jeffrey now on the board. A big jump up to $30. So we saw Adrian Peterson for 46, Lev Bell was 51, Nuke Hopkins was 54, and Zeke went for 57. Hoping here that the computer gets some of that money out of there. So Alshon Jeffrey, let me just put in a bid for Alshon.
Yes, sir.
What are you thinking about him this year?
Injuries do worry me with Alshon, I'm not going to lie. But if you looked at the games that he did play last year, the amount of volume that he got in those games was ridiculous. So if you're getting a discount because of the injuries in training camp, so for example, I got my wide receiver 8 for $40, which for me, if I go by our PRV value, he should be going close to about 45 where I have him ranked. So I find that he's always kind of a value for me based on where I have him ranked. I mean, he's a guy that you want to monitor through training camp to see if he's actually going to start the season healthy. But if he does, and he can play a full season, I love the amount of volume he's going to get, especially if Kevin White can be something across from him.
Right, and I think that's going to. Oh, is he in?
We're
in. Now 12. We're 12 full. Well, welcome, Chris, to the live draft that started 25 minutes ago. If you're listening, it's awesome of you to show up, and thank you for taking all the top tier quarterbacks. That was very kind of you. Lamar Miller on the board right now. He's at $49. I was just checking. So right now, wide receivers, you have Antonio Brown, Alshon Jeffrey. You spend $106 there at those. I guess your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, but you have them both ranked as wide receiver 1s to finish the season. So then,
I have them as top 10s. I mean, if I look, I've averaged $53 for my top 2 wideouts. I mean, that's not bad. It's like owning for me, Des Bryant or Allen Robinson, both of those guys. I mean, but I also have what I think of as the consensus wide receiver 1. So I'm happy with that.
Slim, I think right now we're seeing the auction horseshoe happening.
Yeah,
based on your article there, Lamar Miller right now the top RB as far as price goes. He went for $62. And if we look at that tier, Zeke was 57, Gurley 57, David Johnson 53. So I think right now you just saw the back end of that horseshoe.
Yeah, it is true. That's a big drop-off. Those are kind of the top 5, and then people get freaked out by Ingram, Devontae Freeman, Jamal, things of that. So, wow.
Chris saw his team and left.
Just sweet out of here.
This team's bad.
All right, Allen Robinson on the board right now at 41, 42, 44.
Dude studs and scrubbed it. DeAndre Levy and Lamar Miller. Mic drop.
Yeah.
$33 left after 3 picks.
And who was that?
Team 3.
Team
Bryce
3?
Lair.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry if that's not how to pronounce your name.
Oh, imagine that. I just got Allen Robinson. That never happens.
A-Rob, 47. Dang. I go and check someone else's team and I miss it.
And then it goes, right?
That's how it can happen.
And that's how it can happen, especially when you're...
Like a draft board at every draft, I'll tell you right now. You don't even have to just... live draft, I guess.
Team...
Sorry,
boys. How much is he? He has $33 left, eh? Team 3, Bryce Lair's team. So his team is DeAndre Hopkins, 54, Lev Bell for 51, Lamar Miller for 62. So right now in the RBs, he's at $113.
Yeah, it's...
I
just got
by the volatility.
We just got a tweet too that Bryce is the co-host of the Coach Pow Pow's podcast, and he put that on FF Auction Advice. So
he's a Steelers fan then. Explains Lev.
Keenan Allen, $40, drafted by the Pottsville Maroons.
That's pretty cool.
I nominated Keenan Allen, and I tried to bid on him every dollar after, and I couldn't. It wouldn't bid once for me.
Well, you did log out once and came back in, so that was
3 times. And I tried that. I tried that with Keenan when I wouldn't. After 10 seconds left, I tried it with Keenan. Didn't work. Let's try again.
Yeah, everything's just a little bit laggy right now on the Yahoo. Just a wee bit, or.
Devontae Freeman currently going for 35.
Oh man.
What's the matter, Blister? What's the matter, Colonel Sanders?
I can't bid on anything. It says my team has a high bid. It's a waste of time.
All right, so Devonta Freeman just went off the board, and we saw him to end round 2 at $37. So round 2 looked like this. Zeke, 57, Nuke, 54, Lev Bell was 51, AP, 46, AJ Green, 52, Alshon Jeffrey went for 40, $62 for Lamar Miller, Allen Robinson for 47, Keenan Allen for 40, and Devonta Freeman for $37. Cam Newton currently on the board.
Antonio Brown still on my board.
He was the first guy taken by Slim.
Yeah. Yes, he was. It's refreshing.
Just trying to do something there. All right, so it is slow. I don't know if it's got 9,000 windows open. So Cam Newton on the board is at $15 right now.
I got a price force almost.
If we put that into perspective, Russell Wilson went for 17 and Aaron Rodgers went for 23. Mind you, that was Chris on the bot. So $19 right now for Cam.
Who's got him?
Right now it's Jay's great team. His team is great. Your team's only swell, Blister.
I keep logging out, logging in.
Oh no, you upped you.
Did I get logged back in too soon? Stupid. Oh, I almost did get him too. Log out.
Yeah, so Derek Myers, he just made a good little comment. I like that. He says in his home league that Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and Cam will all go for 30 or more. And I mean, it's every league's a little bit different, right? Like some guys just value them so much higher than others. I know, like our crew up here in Northern Ontario in the rival league in Dryden there, their quarterbacks go like crazy. I think I actually heard that Alex Smith last year went in the teens.
Is that right?
Yeah, Alex Smith. On that note, one of the guys from that league, I have a little friends and family thing. Guys from high school, I'm trying to keep friendships alive through fantasy football, and that particular individual who commissions that league can no longer play in this friends and family league because two rosters is too time consuming, Slim.
Two rosters.
Yeah.
Is it just because his wife beats him all the time?
Well, his wife beats all of them in fantasy football.
It's like the league for real, man. The female run show.
Whoops, my turn. I thought I had someone in my queue, but I guess it didn't work. And the lag to try to get there. Let's go here. Let's try to get another. I'm going to go T.Y. Hilton here to nominate him. Trying to get some of those upper tier receivers now going. Now that I have A-Rob, try to get some money, more money going there. But yeah, no, I was just saying that Derek makes a good point where, every league's a little bit different on how they value them, and auction drafts in general. I mean, you could have the same 12 guys sit down and go 2 times back to back in a draft, and they would be completely different. So, Carlos Hyde was the last guy off the board. He went for $29. Slim, our resident Niners fan, $29 for Carlos Hyde.
Well, it's bang on his AAV. Me personally, I'm not drafting him this year because I think he's overpriced for what you're going to get from him on one of the worst teams in the NFL. I don't know how many touches he's going to get. Everybody thinks that because Chip Kelly is there and he force-fed DeMarco Murray. I don't see this being the same team. That offense is going to be playing from behind all the time. I just don't know how much he'll be on the field even in the second half potentially. It's one reason why I like Sean Jerome late in drafts, because I think he's the best pass-catching running back they have, and he'll end up getting 35% of the touches just because he'll be on the field in a lot of the passing situations, which they're inevitably going to be in because they suck. So.
And that was an argument. The same guy that had the Josh Gordon ranted about Carlos Hyde and not understanding why he's being drafted where he's drafted, and was all about Sean Drone, and for exactly what you were just saying, those exact things, that he's not going to be on the field in those situations and the 2-minute drills and all those things. Are going to be playing from behind, and unless he converts his paddles to magic middies.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one thing that I will say that we're starting to play DFS more the last couple of years. I find when I play DFS, I really pay a lot of attention to things like game script and stuff like that when I'm trying to find values playing daily fantasy, and translates to fantasy football too. I mean, a lot of the Niners game scripts, I think, are fairly pass heavy because they're going to have to. He's still going to get touches, but I mean, late in the game, or even maybe early in the game, if they know that Blaine Gabbert can't complete a pass more than 6 yards, are they going to stack the box and try and take away the run game and make it a one-dimensional? Sure they are, So, yeah.
So I snuck in there and not thinking that T.Y. Hilton would actually be mine, but I got him for $30, so I'm sitting with A-Rob and T.Y. Hilton now. I'm going to have to sit back at the wide receiver position, most certainly. And then who just went now was LaShawn McCoy went for $34. So we're seeing that tier of running backs with Eddie, starting with Eddie Lacy and now all the way through into round 3 with LaShawn McCoy. That mid-30s seems to be a sweet spot there for that tier A.
Yeah, I think it's a safe price for most people. It doesn't break your budget. You kind of have a little bit of, built-in bust potential, I guess you could say, or injury potential. It's more of a palatable price range for people trying to get some low-end RB1 production with maybe some upside.
Right.
If the guy gets hurt, you're not blowing $60 out of your budget. So I think it's a lot more comfortable for people at that range.
Well, we've lost Blister. I think either his iPad fell off the steering wheel, or he's trying to drive somewhere where there's more Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, but we lost him. He is still in the draft, though. Shane Swell team is still there, so we just lost him on the pod. Maybe he'll reconnect, maybe not. If not, Blister, it was nice talking to you. We just saw Kirk Cousins go for $3, and the comment in the Smack Talk, Slim, was $3 not too shabby. What do you think, Kirk Cousins? $3? Some love him, some hate him.
Yeah, it's not a bad price. I don't think it's great. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's average for him. But I just think there's down where he is, low-end QB1, high-end QB2, there's, 8 guys that can do the same as him. So nobody's going to pay up for that guy unless you really, really like him. So, I don't think there's anything real flashy about that. It's not like a real steal or anything, I don't think.
Right.
Most leagues, I think, outside of the top few guys, that's what you're going to get. I would think in a lot of leagues now, you've got at least half of people that are going to be doing a late-round quarterback strategy of some type and going to look to spend that. So once you get out of the top few guys, then that's what the rest of those guys go for.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I just was interested in the comment. So B Marsh just went for $39. And that's to the Pork Chop Express. I'm looking at my team right now, Slim, and it's a start, but I'm going to have to do some work here to get my RBs up to par with A-Rob and T.Y. Hilton. And I forgot that I had drafted Gronk right away there, too, as I looked at it. So I'm well into it right now. I've got, $76 left or something. I can still do some pretty good work, I think, for some starting RBs. I don't know how much is left, so I got to check out here. And it's hard when I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me and those types of things and bouncing back and forth. That's hard.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
Oh no, there's still enough that I can do there for some value. I know guys are sitting here listening to us live as we're drafting, but if you're going to go with a couple of big wide receivers and you want to go a little bit lower on your running backs, we know we've talked about it before, but you got to love the Frank Gore, you got to love the Gio and Duke Johnson, And for some reason, I'm being drawn to Melvin Gordon this year too, and I don't know why that's happening, but.
Well, I think a lot is draft pedigree. There's been some positive reports coming out in camp too. He was a high rookie pick after running back. If you play in a dynasty league, he would have went in probably your top 4. So there's talent there. He was productive in college. Last year, I think they had a ton of injuries on the offensive line. There's a lot of reasons why you could kind of fade what he did last year a little bit and kind of overlook a few things. But, there's also some people that just think, hey, he's a Wisconsin running back. He's going to be shit in the NFL too. So,
right.
What are you going to go with?
Well, no, just for some reason, as I'm looking and I just realized that, he gets touches and he gets opportunities, so if that if the skill now can start to come through from all those touches and whatnot, then you might get him for a steal if he's going to be down in that in the teens as far as your auction value goes. You know?
Oh no, I think he's an awesome value. Believe me, I've said I'm going RB0. He's right near the top of my list as guys that I would target if I went RB0. I think by default he's going to get volume. They drafted, spent a lot of draft capital on him last year. Nothing really changed for Gordon or for the team in the sense that they still have to see what they have in this kid. So wanting to give him the ball. I mean, they gave him the ball quite a bit last year, even though he was super inefficient with it. So, I don't see why they do that. I mean, Danny Woodhead, he's not a real threat in the run game. He's definitely going to get touches in the passing game, but when they need to hand it off, it's going to go to Gordon. And if that offensive line can improve, and if Gordon can improve a little bit, and just that offense as a whole becomes a little bit more efficient, if you're a little high octane, then I don't see why there shouldn't be improvement there.
So just to recap what's happened here while we've been talking about Melvin Gordon, that was a long Melvin Gordon discussion, but it's good. It was good detail. Julian Edelman just went for 23, Andrew Luck for 14, and Sterling Shepard for 6. Currently have Willie Snead on the board. He is at $10. I mean, maybe. Blister got in a little bit. The Chris's are battling after him. Oh, and just got sniped at the wire there. $11 currently for Willie Snead. I mean,
Willie, $11. Be a good price.
$11. And I mean, right now I heard somewhere that he's listed as a third receiver with the Saints. That Brandon Coleman's actually listed as the wide receiver 2 there.
Brandon Coleman?
Yeah.
That won't last.
Well, and that's it, right? That's the idea, and so
that's got to be just some week 1 training camp depth chart and stuff until Michael Thomas learns the offense a little bit better and things like that. Because there's no way Michael Thomas doesn't jump Brandon Coleman. Brandon Coleman he's never really done it. We waited on this guy with all these physical tools. He's never really been able to kind of do it. I'm not sure why they would give him snaps over there.
Well,
nice new rookie.
That's one of those nice talking points too to walk into your draft with the Saints fan. Oh man, Snead is listed as a third now, right? Those are those little nuggets that we talk about getting in guys' heads.
Oh yeah, just try and rattle somebody, anybody.
Speaking of him, I got a shout out from @ToiletTweets. And so, it's @TurdTweeting. They are the CNN of the bathroom, they say. So, anyways, they wanted to come on the pod, which I thought is interesting. I don't know, but I knew that our resident Saints fan would, if he was on Twitter, which I'm sure he's not, would love @TurdTweeting. Here's their pinned tweet. What is your favorite time of day to squeeze out a fat dookie? That's their poll question right now. A fat dookie, which I enjoyed. I got onto them because @Uncle Chaps, I don't know if you follow him, but he came up, he tweeted something about. Yeah, he tweeted about the. Is it right or is it wrong for the cable guy to take a dump in your bathroom? And so then Toilet Tweets got onto that, loving that, of course. And anyways, interesting. Our resident Saints fan is also a turd fan, would you say? They're talking. Yeah, well, that's what we do.
Literally.
Sorry, so digress there. We just finished round 3. Jordy Nelson for $35. Sammy Watkins for $30, getting back into fantasy football. Jordy Nelson for $35. Slim.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a nice little price for him. It could be.
It is. I mean, I was looking at it. It's fairly cheap. It was a little too much for what I can pay at this point, going with two fairly pricey receivers. I mean, I could pay it. I'm not sure I would like what it would do to my budget a little bit later on down the road. So I kind of going to pass here for a little bit unless I get some really decent value. But I mean, there's still some guys that I have ranked pretty highly that are on the board still that I think could. I mean, T.Y. Hilton was 1-2 slugger. Fortunately, I missed him. But.
Well, I will say I'm pretty happy with A-Rob at 47 and T.Y. Hilton at 30. I think for $77 is my wide receiver 1 and 2 there, both with wide receiver 1 upside is, and then being able to pair that with Gronk.
Yeah.
Things could go pretty good. The draft is only one part of it, so who knows what the heck's going to happen after that. But Thomas Rawls right now at $34.
Yeah, to me that's pretty high. There was some positive reports that came out today and everything, but I'm not really ready yet to anoint him, although I could be wrong. I'm just not ready to do it yet.
So Lat Murray is now on the board as Rawls goes off for 34. I guess that's probably the end of round 4 or round 3. Lat Murray behind the crushing Oakland line. I mean, dynasty-wise, I don't know how much you love it, but in redraft, Slim, any love there for Lat Murray, or do you just think that he's lacking the talent and that'll eventually show through?
No, I think definitely he's got potential this year to put up fantasy points, no doubt. Again, I'll be honest, I nominated him as kind of there's guys ahead of him still that are on the board, like Mark Ingram and Doug Martin, that I have ranked ahead of him, but I'm pretty confident they wouldn't go in my price range. So as somebody who's going to kind of try and go a little bit RB0, I just want to toss a little feeler out here with somebody like Latavius Murray. He's kind of in between range of, or maybe the start of where you can maybe start looking at buying running backs at that price. So I just want to see what he would go for. He went for way more than, if he would have went for maybe under $20, I would have taken a stab. He ended up going for 27. Just finished the bidding on that, which is too high for me.
So
somebody
you just
save some money.
A price check, eh?
Yeah, I was just kind of throwing out a gauge of kind of, I don't have my tiers finished, but he would be kind of in the tiers that I'm looking at buying a lot of potential guys from if I go RB0. So I just wanted to throw him out there just to kind of get a feel of what this tier might kind of go for. And I'm a little bit bummed out about the price, actually. So maybe that was just somebody was really high on Latavius. I'm not sure, but I'll have to keep monitoring some of these guys as they come off the board, and either have to open up the purse strings a little bit more than I wanted to, or start looking maybe at the next tier.
So I nominated Jordan Reed here to start round 4. I think probably obvious intentions there with me having Gronk, and I don't think another tight end has been off the board yet. Let's get more money spent, and hopefully guys will spend in these types of positions, so then I can land some RBs to fill out the roster. Jordan Reed went for $20. Decent price point.
Yeah, I love that price point. To me, there's no real difference between Reed and Gronk. They both kind of get nicked up. Reed has kind of more chronic things because he's dealing with the concussion issue that, one hit away. I mean, Gronk's injuries kind of been a little more spread out and things of that nature. But it's not like it's a recurring thing to one part of his body so much. But as far as production on a point per game basis, they're right neck and neck with each other. So, you know, if I can get Jordan Reed for half the price of Gronk, to me that's a pretty good buy, and it takes out a lot of that injury risk as well for me.
So he went for 20, and Blister picks up a player. He picked up CJ Anderson for $23. I actually clicked the button for 24 and didn't get there in time once I realized where it was.
Good price.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I thought I was going to click it. I thought, whoa, 23? I'll take him for 24, and then away we go. Blake Bortles now off for $5. Again, that's that giant tier of quarterbacks, right?
Yep. The going rate for a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I think I'll just take the cheapest guy of the group there.
I mean, that's a fairly good price. I mean, he's kind of a lot of the time goes near the top, so you see him go for like 7 or 8. But yeah, it's okay.
Amari Cooper now on the board.
Oh, your boy, you better take a stab here.
Well, I did for 3. I don't know how much of a stab, but I mean that'd be pretty stacked up there. If let's try one more here. Let's see what I can do. Let's try one more. There we go. Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
So Amari Cooper right now is at $29. Slim is got him going once, going twice. Boom. Well, that's going to make you happy there, Slim.
I didn't get him. Another guy spent 30.
You didn't? Oh, I did get it to 30.
I stopped. There's still a lot of names out there. Didn't want to get into a bidding war for a guy when, they'll be honest, there's still who out there? Brandon Cooks, Demarius Thomas, Jeremy Macklin, Golden Tate. There's still some names out there that I don't mind. So,
Doug Martin right now on the board?
Yes. See where this goes. I'll be interested.
All right, so Doug Martin right now is at $24. Yep, pretty quick. Blister is in here. Now he's probably banging on his iPad right now, mad because he can't get a bid in. Chris's cool team. No, back and forth now. We're at 26 now for Doug Martin.
Well, it's still really cheap.
$26 for Doug Martin.
Wow, that's dirt cheap, man.
Doug Baldwin now. So we just saw Doug Martin go for 26, CJ Anderson for 23. Rawls, Lat Murray at 27. So I think we've kind of found the price point for that tier. Hey, I kind of wish I would have known that ahead of time.
One of the comments just came in. Damn, Martin for 26, and I just paid 27 for Latavius back. Yeah, that one stings a little bit.
All right, so Doug Baldwin's on the board. He's at 12 right now. See what happens here with Baldwin. Now, again, like Slim was saying, we still have Brandon Cooks and Mike Evans and Demarius and Decker. And he's on? No.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's still on the board?
Maybe not. I tried to nominate him and I missed the deadline. Sorry.
Okay, I was going to say, he's still on the board right now. Oh, last minute snipe by Eric's team. Slim thought he had Doug Baldwin for 19.
And I was pumped about that price, too. Man.
$20 for Doug Baldwin.
I tried to snipe him right back, but I missed it. No worries.
All right. So just the guys, like we say, that are on board, Cooks and Evans and Demaryius Thomas, Decker, Cobb, Tate, Landry, Macklin, kind of down the list there. If we take a look at running backs that are still available, I can get it to load. You've got Ingram and Forte and Jonathan Stewart, DeMarco, Jeremy Hill, Ryan Matthews. So lots of that too. It really does seem in this mock that it's been picking from the top and working your way down for the most part, hey?
Yeah, it's been pretty chalky, I'll be honest. I'm trying to think of, Arian Foster, I guess, is one guy that kind of came out.
Snuck in there, yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's been pretty standard, I guess. Which definitely, I'll say, makes it easier to draft. Of some of the drafts that I can think of that have been the hardest to gauge value, it's when you start whipping out kind of these mid-range guys right off the bat. I feel like it makes people really, really scramble. So, if you've got a guy that you really, really like in some of those mid ranges, it's kind of like the wide receiver 30 or something like that, and you're really high on him. I wouldn't hesitate to take him out in the first round. I think you can often get value doing
doing it that way.
People off better. So, like Mike Evans just goes now. Everybody was expecting this, waiting for this name. Probably they've got him circled. They know how much they're willing to spend. There's no thought process that has to go into any of these owners. They've been waiting for this player.
Right. So Mike Evans right now at 26. So he's up over to 30 point now. So Slim, I'm just looking at the time here. We're just over the hour mark. Obviously we're not going to be able to go through the entire draft here. It would take quite a while. We will definitely post it when I get the results up. I will post it attached into the show notes of the podcast, so listeners can go in there and take a look at what the team actually looked like. And I think it's going to be interesting too to maybe try to figure out some of the horseshoes that worked out in some of these tiers, because there's been some real natural horseshoes in those upper tiers that we've been seeing, just to kind of drive that point home a little bit more.
Well, the running backs, for sure, the top couple tiers of running backs, it looked like there was one. It's hard to tell with the receivers here now. Actually, it's kind of hard to tell with all the positions once you get off of the first couple of tiers without actually sitting down and inputting some data into your rankings to kind of look at for trends and things like that. But yeah.
So I'm definitely going to post it. And anything so just kind of as we're going here, taking a look at this mock overall, any overall overarching comments as to how things have gone to this point?
No, I was surprised that a lot of the very top guys kind of didn't go quite as high, but I think we've seen that kind of recover a little bit with some of the tier 3, tier 4 kind of guys. A few of them have maybe gone a little bit higher, so it's fairly balanced in that in regards to how much money should be spent. I think it's pretty close. We might still be a little bit under what we kind of where we should be at this point, but yeah, I don't know. I think it was actually pretty for 12 auction guys to do this. It actually kind of went pretty standard.
Pretty nondescript, hey? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. My overall comment as Brandon Cooks is drafted for $34. My overall comment really, is that it was pretty nondescript here, right? And nominations have been kind of just, now we're seeing them here, this tier of wide receivers just tick, 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 tick coming off the board as Demaryius Thomas gets nominated. Pretty much nondescript. There hasn't been too much out of the norm. And I guess we also have 9 of our listeners in on this too, right? So they've been listening to us talk over the last few weeks in the podcast as to what's going on, and I know that some of them are, subscribers to the website as well. So they've seen all of our rankings all the way through and have a good idea of what's going to happen in this auction, which doesn't always happen in your home league, I guess, right?
No, I mean, let's face it. I would say that a lot of these guys that are here, they follow us and we communicate with them. But these guys are experienced auction drafters too.
That's right.
And they know, they probably have their own rankings and they know, what some basic values are, and they know who they want to overspend on and maybe who they want to avoid. Like, it's not, it's not a bunch of noobs that are in here. So. But
so D'Angelo Williams just went for $10 there. Bryce, you are nominating, and K Ben, you put up, probably thinking that I'm going to make some bids here.
No, there was nothing like that. I'll be honest.
I will put one in there for you,
but I wanted to see what he would go for. Again, throwing a little bobber on a guy that I don't necessarily want to buy, but he's kind of fits into that tier, and maybe we'll see what his price goes for.
So I guess I just want to say we'll kind of wrap it up here so we don't go too long. I will post the entire draft on the as I'm nominating here. I'm going to nominate Dion Lewis. See what happens here. Try to get a gauge for what some of these tiers are going to go for. I will post everything after the draft, so you'll be able to see what happened there. It is live on YouTube as well, or was live on YouTube. So if you want to take a look at the YouTube channel, you can check that out too. Maybe I'll embed it in this particular post. If you want to support the podcast, please feel free to subscribe and to review wherever fine podcasts are downloaded, if that's iTunes or Stitcher or Podbean or what else do we tune in radio, and wherever podcasts are given away for free. Please do that. And if you like what you've heard so far as our banter about auctions, head to the website thefantasyfootballauction.com. Click on the members area and take a look there. For $14.95, you can get yourself all of our rankings. Last week, we released 4 or 5 new articles, and some of them that were some kind of refurbished from last year to make an impact with this year's guys. Some of just general strategy type ideals. So you head to the website .com, take a look at the members area, and for the price of a magazine and maybe a cup of coffee that you drank it with, or a couple of pints at the local brew pub, you can get yourself all the auction info that you would need. Slim, just so you know, I have a Google alert set up for any time a website posts something about auction. The last 5 websites that have posted something about auction is Beginner's Guide to Auction. 5 rules for your first auction. Those types of posts. So and that's fine, and there's good info there. And I gave a shout out on Twitter last week. I thought JJ's pod on the auction was really good. He talked about the horseshoe there, calling about the U. Thought that was really good stuff there as well. And 2QBs had a nice little auction podcast, so shout out to them as well. So if you want some good auction content, our membership area is there for you. I got nothing else. We'll just keep drafting away here, Slim. We'll post everything on the website, and I think we're both ready to sign off. What do you think?
Yeah, man. That sounds good. It's all good info out there.
So
check it out.
I really wanted to make sure that I could drop the hit him with the hind, because it's been killing me on Stern right now. Everything is hit him with the hind, and it's been killing me. So I had to make sure that I said it at some point because it's hilarious, and I'll try to soundbite that towards the end. And well, for everyone out there, we'll see you when it's springtime in the Rockies.